Good morning, dear students. Today, in Environmental Studies Part 1, we are going to learn chapter number 19, Constituents of Food. Dear students, every day we do lot of work. We play, study, read, jump, and many more activities we do in whole day. And for that, we need energy. Food gives us energy. Sometimes we fall sick. Some people they are fat, some are thin, some have toothache, some have other many problems. This everything depend on our diet. Diet means the food which we eat daily, that is called our diet. So it is necessary to have a balanced diet or proper diet because our body grows every day, and to become strong and healthy we must have proper diet. So the foodstuffs which we eat have constituents that are useful to us in different ways. So let us learn some more about the constituents of food. In that, we are going to study about energy giving foods, that is carbohydrates and fats. So let's learn about carbohydrates. We get or our body get carbohydrates when we eat starchy food or food containing sugar or fiber such as potato, sago and sweet potato contain starch. Cereals like jawar, bajra, wheat, rice contain a lot of starch. We obtain flour from these grains. These grains form our staple diet. We get energy from starchy foods. Our body uses this energy for different kinds of work. This energy also keeps the body suitably warm. Carbohydrates also contains sugars. Foodstuffs that taste sweet contain different kinds of sugars. For example, we can obtain jaggery and a table sugar from sugarcane because it contains a sugar called sucrose. Ripe fruits like mango, banana, chiku, as also honey and milk also contain various kinds of sugars. They too give us energy. Now what does fiber means? When grain like jawar, wheat is ground into a flour, the particles in the flour are not all alike. When the flour is sifted, we find the larger particles left behind on the sieve. These particles are fine pieces of the skin or bran of the grain. Bran is a fibrous substance. In the process of digestion, fiber has a special function. Fibrous substances help the food to move forward in the alimentary canal at the right speed. The undigested food is of no use to the body. Fiber helps to form stool from the undigested food. Fiber is also called roughage. Fruits and vegetables, especially their skins, whole grains and pulses are all sources of fiber in food. If a food does not contain enough fiber, it can lead to constipation. Up to now, we have learned about three types of substances present in our food: starch, sugar, and fiber. These substances are together called carbohydrates. The most important use of carbohydrates is to provide the body with energy. Now, let's learn about fats. Oil is a fatty substance. Paper becomes translucent when a fatty substance is applied to it. Paper becoming translucent is a sign of the presence of fats in the foodstuff kept on it. Fats in our food also provide energy to our body. They give twice as much energy as carbohydrates, but we include a smaller quantity of this constituent in our diet. Cream, butter, ghee, oil are examples of fats. Nuts, meat, egg yolk also contain fats. The fats we eat get stored in our body. If food is not available for some time, the body can get energy from the stored fats. There is a layer of fat under our skin. It gives shape to the body and like a blanket also prevents loss of heat from the body. The cardboard, thermocol or bubble wrap protect the fragile articles. Fragile means which breaks easily. Even when the boxes shake, fall or get heat, the articles inside are not damaged. Similarly, the layer of fat in the body protects our internal organs. An injury from outside does not at once cause damage to our bones or other internal organs. Just as stones and bricks are the building blocks needed for a wall, proteins are the building blocks of our body. The body undergoes wear and tear continuously. Sometimes it gets injured, but the healing and repair of our body goes on all the time without our being aware of it. Proteins are necessary for that purpose. Proteins are required in plenty during the growing years of a person's life. All the different dals, pulses, groundnuts, milk and milk products like yogurt, khoya and paneer, eggs, meat and fish are rich sources of proteins. To get the required proteins, our daily diet should include dals, pulses as well as milk and milk products. Our body requires carbohydrates, fats and proteins in large proportions. These food constituents are called macronutrients. In addition to the macronutrients, we need certain food constituents in very small quantities. These macronutrients are vitamins and minerals. The different vitamins are named using the letters of the alphabet. For example, vitamins A, B, C, D, E and K are the most important vitamins. Although we need vitamins in very small quantities, a lack of or deficiency of any vitamin results in serious disorders. For example, a deficiency of vitamin A over a long period results in night blindness. A deficiency of vitamin D results in weak and brittle bones. Brittle means which breaks easily. Vitamins give us the ability to resist diseases. Iron, calcium, sodium, potassium are examples of minerals that are essential for the body. They are needed in very small quantities, but they have an important part to play in all necessary functions of our body. For example, iron is necessary for carrying oxygen to different parts of the body. If there is a deficiency of iron in the blood, the body does not get enough supply of oxygen and one feels constantly weak and tired. This condition is called anemia. The mineral calcium makes our bones strong. All kinds of fruits, vegetables, green leafy vegetables, sprouted pulses, their skin, and the bran of cereals and pulses are all sources of vitamins and minerals. That is why, as far as possible, we should eat fruits with their skins, and we should not sift flour to throw away the bran. Being fit and fine means that we have enough strength and energy to study, play, and carry out all our tasks quite easily. Our body is growing well, and we do not fall ill every now and then. We all wish to be in good health. For good health, our body should get all the different constituents of food, namely carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals in the right quantities. A diet which provides all these constituents in the right quantities is called a balanced diet. For our body to be well nourished, we must get all the different food constituents in the right quantities. If a person's diet lacks some constituents over a long period of time, that person does not get proper nourishment. Malnutrition has serious consequences for the person's health. For example, if a person does not get enough carbohydrates and proteins, their growth is stunted. They feel constantly tired. They cannot cope with their studies or games or other tasks. Deficiency of vitamins or minerals cause some specific disorders. There are some misconceptions about diet. If a child eats sweets, chocolates, cakes, fried stuff, etc., and grows fat, some people think that the child is healthy. But if you eat only one kind of food stuff, your body does not get all the necessary food constituents. Such a person would be malnourished. So, always remember, it is better to eat freshly prepared food items that will make for a balanced diet rather than snack or tempting ready-made foods you see in the market. So what we have learnt today? The body gets energy from carbohydrates. Proteins are necessary for the growth of the body as well as for the repair of the wear and tear of the body. Our body gets energy from fats too. Although our body needs vitamins and minerals in small quantities, a deficiency of any of them can lead to a disease or disorder. Fruits, vegetables, and their skins, cereals, and pulses are all sources of fiber. From each of the food items that we eat, we get more than one food constituent. If the diet does not include all the food constituents in the right proportions, it leads to malnutrition. Malnutrition has serious consequences for a person's health. Thank you.